Who should and who will win AL MVP? I'm going to answer those two questions on today's episode. I'm also going to cover the whole gambling scandal that's going around MLB right now. I'm going to give you a player profile. Player profile is worst case scenario at first base, but he could still be a decent option. So we could still get him either way. But if he's our starting first baseman, it's worst case scenario for sure. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not worst case scenario. There's probably worse options, but for sure there are actually. But yeah, and I'm gonna cover the MVP race. Welcome to Mariners Daily, guys. Episode 42. Shout out to Jackie Robinson. Thanks so much for joining me on this episode. I'm Sam Edwards. I appreciate anybody that's watching, listening, commenting. I appreciate you joining in on the conversation for the Mariners offseason this year. It was a huge season, and I'm ready for a huge offseason. And listen, we got to be patient. We're about halfway through November right now. Patience is the key. As long as we have patience and hope, we'll be fine. All right. Now, you know who didn't have patience? I don't know what kind of a transition. We're going to the gambling situation. You know who didn't have patience? No, I Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz have been indicted on gambling charges. Clase and Ortiz are charged with, quote, wire fraud conspiracy, honest services wire fraud conspiracy, conspiracy to influence sporting contests by bribery, and money laundering conspiracy for their alleged roles in a scheme to rig bets on pitches thrown, according to the Department of Justice. The indictment details an alleged scheme that involves the pitchers purposely throwing balls so gamblers could bet on pitches being balls or strikes. The allegations from prosecutors in the indictment include a specific incident on June 15th. Now, we heard about this way back when, in the middle of the season, when Luis Ortiz got pulled from a game for a interesting miss of the strike zone. Ortiz was paid $5,000 for throwing an intentional ball, and Clase received $5,000 for facilitating it, which what the heck does facilitating even like he connected Ortiz with the guys? Like, I don't know what's going on. Co-conspirators won at least $400,000 on fraudulent wagers relating to Clase and at least 60,000 on fraudulent waivers relating to Ortiz, prosecutors allege in the indictment. If they are proven guilty on all charges, they could face up to, I believe it's either 57 or 67 years of jail time. I think that's unlikely. It's generally unlikely that people are proven guilty on all of the allegations, but we'll see. I guess I'm no professional, clearly, with my unprofessional speak here and my poor transition into this opening topic. Yeah, basically it sucks, and we need to get rid of um I don't know, micro bets. Is that the term? I don't think that's the term. But being able to bet on pitches or like that small of a thing, get rid of it. Get it out. Ban it. I don't care. Bro, listen, I'm not a gambler. I don't recommend you become a gambler. I'm not selling that. Not yet anyways. No, I'm not selling it. And because I don't believe in it. I just don't. I like my sports and I would like to keep them as pure as possible. And when I say pure, I mean I don't want to put my money into it expecting more money in return. I'm okay putting money into it in terms of like hats and, tickets and whatever it is, but I'm not putting money into it expecting that I'm going to win money. Um, I have gotten a lot better as a researcher and an analyst for baseball over the past 7 years about when I was doing my own podcast, different from this, but yeah, I was yeah, I think I know some things about the sport, but also in that time, because I've gotten better, I know what I don't know, and I know that I would be good at gambling. I know, and I know gambling is just it's not good, and clearly it's not good because players are getting roped into it now as well. $5,000. for Class A and for Ortiz, like, bro, these guys are making millions. I know Ortiz is not making that much, but like, he's getting paid. He's getting paid, and he needs more. Like, what? How? What? You think you could cheat the system? Is it worth it? It's not worth it, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Get it out. Get out of these micro bets, and yeah, I hope Ortiz and Class A can't play baseball. Obviously it'd be really, really cool if they were both proven innocent. And if we could prove that, that would be great. And if they are actually innocent, that'd be awesome. If what their lawyers say is true, that they're innocent on all accounts, which I really doubt, then great. But I don't believe it. I don't believe they're innocent. I think they're guilty to some level, and I think they're going to get a lifetime ban from Major League Baseball. So Class A is obviously the biggest bummer out of this group. These two guys, uh, this squadron of two men. Class A was obviously an amazing closer, and I did really like watching him pitch. He was incredible, had an amazing cutter, and yeah, threw flames on the mound. So that's a bummer. It's a key skilled player, key star, key future closer. Historically you'd think with how good he was that he could have broken some records, or hit some records at the very least. And that looks like it's all thrown in the trash for $5,000. Now, there's probably more to this scheme that I don't know. There's probably more money that he could have been in line to get, but I don't know why he's going for it, man. I don't know why he's going for it. Doesn't make no sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. Talk about making no sense. Is this worst case scenario for first base? Possibly. Yoan Moncada? Are we saying this is worst case scenario? Listen, we all want Josh Naylor. I'm giving you another option. I don't think Yoan Moncada is the worst case scenario. I don't think he's should be plans A, B, or C. Give me a big fat E. He's my E option. He's very low on the list, but he's on it. He gets to be on the list, so we got to break him down here. Player profile. This was a little bit of a rebound season. And I say a little bit because he only played like half a season. He played 289 plate appearances with the Los Angeles Angels. He used to be a very good player with the Chicago White Sox, and then he started striking out a lot. But we saw some improvements this season that I think could stick, and he also kind of fits the Mariners' general MO, I would think. 289 plate appearances for Yoan Moncada. He's 30 years old, by the way. Just, if you forgot he existed and you were like, oh, Yoan Moncada, what the heck? Why are we talking about 30 years old, still plays baseball, still plays Major League Baseball, and still plays above average Major League Baseball. 289 plate appearances, 12 home runs. He finally got his walk percentage back to its normal count 11.1 walk percentage. That is very good. He was known for that back in 2020, 2021, 2019 with the White Sox when he was going good. A 26K percentage, which is manageable. It's not amazing, and it's not exactly what we're looking for on the Mariners right now, but manageable. 214 isolated power, a 282 BABIP, which I will get to that after I finish reading his slash line. 234 batting average, a 336 on base, and a 448 slugging percentage. So his power definitely improved. 339 WOBA, a 334 expected WOBA. Nothing off the charts or anything, but above average, good. A 117 runs created plus. 14.3 barrel percentage, very nice. Only an 89.8 exit velocity, so nothing amazing there, but a 43.4 hard hit percentage is above average, and that is nice. So we'll take it. Let's rewind to the BABIP here. The batting average on balls in play, 282 this past half season. His career average is 339. So if if he is back and if he is looking to build on this season, if he could have a healthy 2026, he could easily, that's a good 50 points in batting average right there. Just for his BABIP to come back to his career average. Now, maybe he's a different hitter. He's definitely making less contact now. So I get it. It's not a drastic amount of, less contact, but it is less contact than when he was cruising. So we'll see. We shall see. But if he stands to hit 260, with a, over 450 slugging percentage. That is a positive hitter and one that's definitely worth a flyer. And that's really all Yohan Moncada is looking for right now. Looking for a flyer. He's probably looking for another 1-year deal. I'm signing him to that easy. And listen, he's not a third baseman. He played third base this past year. He's played third base most of his career. He should not be playing third base. He's terrible defensively there. Put him at first base. He could be first base. That's worst case scenario for first base. If he's our starting first baseman opening day and we didn't sign Josh Naylor, now listen, if Josh Naylor gets injured, that sucks. Whatever. At least you have Yohan Moncada as a backup. But, in which we still do that. If he's the starting first baseman, that sucks, and that's a really bad scenario. It's not worst case scenario, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Is that worst case scenario? I don't know. I don't know what Mariners fans actually expect to happen. Do we expect to get Josh Naylor? Do we expect Jerry Dipoto to actually cough up the money? Like, you got to prove it to me. You have to prove it to me before I'm expecting you to go out and get your stud guy. And listen, I know Josh Naylor's not going to cost a fortune in the baseball terms, but it is in Mariners terms, I guess, because we have not been handing out huge. Well, no, sorry, I take that back. We Cal Raleigh, Julio. I know we've been willing to take on some money. So whatever. We've signed guys to big contracts. I'm not saying Josh Naylor's out of the ordinary or out of the equation, but either way, Yohan Moncada could be a great backup option. He could be a great DH. Throw him at DH, baby. Good quality hitter, hits from the left side. Definitely could get some solid production out of him, especially if his BABIP does come back close to his career average. It's at least a solid another 20 points of batting average. So that's great. He could hit 250 with a 450 slugging. Like that could be great with a really good on base for all season. Oh my God, is back, baby. He could be back. He could be back. 12 homers. He doesn't run that much. Like I said, he's a little high in the K percentage, and over a full season, it could get worse. So I'm not saying it's a slam dunk or anything. I'm just saying he could be back. He could be performing, and this just feels up the Mariners' alley. They're buying low. He could be this past year's Jorge Polanco. Not very good defensively. Throw him out in the field whenever we have to, but mostly want him to DH, and he could be a positive hitter. I think there's a scenario where that happens. Let me know what you think. Like I said, 117 runs great plus. It's nothing to scoff at. It was only 289 plate appearances, so obviously maybe, it's a long season, so maybe he gets, you know, shown for being a fraud. He is a switch hitter. I don't think he's that great from the right side, but I think he should probably just be a lefty. But he is technically a switch hitter, so whatever. We could roll with that. I don't know. Either way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. We're already 13 minutes in. How the hell did I get there? Oh my gosh, we gotta. Oof. Okay. We've got 7 minutes to talk about Aaron Judge versus Cal Raleigh here. I've talked about this a little bit. I'm gonna break it down again. This is my final word, my final message on the AL MVP race. Cal Raleigh versus Aaron Judge. Let's break it down by the stats because this is the show for the thinking Mariners fan. Cal Raleigh this past year had 705 plate appearances, 60 home runs. I know you know these numbers, but we gotta walk them through again because my gosh, do they look great in the sheet and they sound great to hear. 14 stolen bases for Cal Raleigh, the catcher. 14! What? 13.8 walk percentage, a 26.7 K percentage, 342 isolated power, a 247 batting average, a 359 on base, and a 589 slugging percentage, a 392 weighted on base average or WOBA, a 384 expected WOBA, and a 161 runs created plus, which means he was roughly 61% better than your average major league hitter. A 9.1 wins above replacement per Fangraphs calculations. That is my preferred calculation of WAR over Baseball Reference. Fangraphs takes in speed, it takes in defense, it takes in a lot more. It also gives you a boost for your position. I don't know how much of a boost, and if it's enough, I don't know. And listen, we can't judge players on one number. Can't do it. Listen, like I said at the top of the show, I've gotten a little bit better. Just a little bit better as a researcher. If you go back on my old podcast around the diamond, you'll hear a guy that just is just saying numbers and doesn't really, it doesn't really grasp, what analyzing players really is doing. Anyways, Cal Raleigh, defense wise, I get these defensive stats from Baseball Savant. That's who I think does the best job with defensive statistics. He is a +7 overall fielding run value, his overall fielding profile, which is 87th percentile, which is very, very nice. And that is also low for Cal Raleigh in general. Yeah. Dude gets it done. What's he do behind the dish? Well, framing is a huge piece of the fielding run value equation that Baseball Savant puts together. They put a lot of value on framing those pitches, getting those borderline calls, and getting them to be strikes. He is a +7 in framing overall, which is a 93rd percentile. 93rd percentile in framing. He's a +2 in caught stealing above average, which is 66th percentile. Not amazing, but more than above average. Very, very nice. And then he's got a 1.97 pop time, which is 39th percentile. Not amazing there. And then he is below average in blocks above average, blocking pitches. He's not amazing or didn't grade out amazingly. -4 in blocking above average, which is 13th percentile. Now, luckily, that doesn't go into the whole equation too much. I think he's overall a very good defensive catcher. I think the majority of people would say the same thing. I think the work that he does behind the dish and the amount of time that he puts in behind the dish should not be understated. It also should not be overstated as well. We're gonna get there. Aaron Judge played about 35 less plate appearances, so that's a couple games there. 679 plate appearances for Aaron Judge, 53 home runs, 7 less than Raleigh, 12 stolen bases, 2 less than Raleigh, and 18.3 walk percentage. That's crazy. That's about 5% higher than Raleigh, about four, maybe 4 point something higher than Raleigh. So it's a decent amount. He also struck out less, 23.6 K percentage, a 357 isolated power, a 376 BABIP. Oh my gosh. He hit 331 with a 457 on base and a 688 slugging percentage, a 463 WOBA, and a 475 expected WOBA, a 204 runs created plus, a 10.1 WAR per Fangraphs. Defensively, he was a +5 in fielding run value, which is a little bit lower than Raleigh, and it also obviously doesn't carry as much weight as Raleigh's does because of the importance of catcher. +5 fielding run value at in right field, which is 80th percentile for Aaron Judge. A +4 in outs above average, which is his general range. He's got an 86th percentile in that. A +2 in arm value, which is 84th percentile. Basically, how accurate is he when he's throwing in right field? And then what's his arm strength? Which I don't have written down, actually. I forgot to write it down. Oh my gosh. I how did I forget this? Whatever it is, it's positive, man. It's a plus, sorry, it's an 85th percentile. I got that part. Like, and that's really all you need. What you don't really matter what number it is, I guess. Just where he ranks. Where does he rank? How good is it? It's a good one. It's a good number. I don't have it written down, but it's a good one. Isn't it nice to be back in the studio? Anyway, sorry, that's just me. 85th percentile in arm strength. So yeah, he throws the ball pretty freaking fast, and he's good at it. Uh, yeah, let's go into the comparison mode here. Key stats. Key stats. Listen, first of all, how much did you play? Raleigh played a little bit more. Like I said, 35 plate appearances, roughly. 25, sorry, 25 plate appearances, roughly. 26, actually, to be exact. Home runs, like I said, Raleigh has 7 more. That's not a huge, substantial amount, but it is more, and it is very nice. The walk percentage is the first mark that Judge just gets a huge boost. I mean, it's at least 4% higher, 4.5% higher in walk percentage. He's getting those walks, which is huge. He also strikes out 3% less of the time, which is just valuable in and of itself. The slash line, a 247 batting average for Cal Raleigh, 331 for Aaron Judge. He just gets more hits, he makes more contact overall, and because his power is so good, he just gives him by the fact that he makes more contact means that more good things can happen. A 457 on base versus the 359, that really speaks to the walk percentage difference and then also the batting average difference as well. The fact that Judge can just make that much more contact means he will get more hits. on average than Cal Raleigh. 463 Woba versus a 392 with Raleigh, just a huge boost in Judge's favor. A 475 expected Woba proves that Judge maybe even got a little unlucky, possibly. And a 384 ex Woba for Raleigh means that maybe he maybe got a little lucky this season. I don't know. I like to focus on what they actually did instead of the expected metrics. So ex Woba doesn't really swing me too much. It does it does show me that like he is legit, which as if we need to like do that for these players, but whatever. The Woba is really what swings me. It's plus like 70 points in Judge's favor. 204 runs created plus for Aaron Judge versus a 164 runs created plus for Cal Raleigh. That is just Aaron Judge is a better hitter than Cal Raleigh, but like substantially so. Like it's just a huge difference. It's 40%. He's 40% better. He's 40% better. 40% better as a hitter. And it's a tough episode, man. It's a tough one. Tough one. He's just a lot better of a hitter. And then he's got one more win above replacement, which like I said, we're not judging a guy on one number. Just like I'm not going to judge him just on runs created plus overall, but everything else backs that up through and through. Like I said, the Woba, the slash line is that much better. Now defensively, Cal Raleigh's amazing. He's fantastic behind the dish, and he's a freaking catcher. He's freaking commanding the field, involved in every pitch, never taking a day off. He's an amazing player and so freaking valuable. And, there's an intangibleness that I don't know. I don't know how much we are either underestimating how valuable he is or overestimating. I don't know if we are even estimating. I don't know if we're correct. I don't know what the stats. This is all I have. This is what I have and what I see on the field. And what you see on the field can really trick you. It can really mess you up. Which is why I'm so, you know, I'm very pro stats. But obviously, if you're in the game, then I mean, I respect your opinion. I respect what you see and what you've been a part of. But the numbers tell me Judge is better. Feels gross to say, honestly, because there's so much nuance in Major League Baseball, but at the same time, yes, I know that catcher is more valuable, but does it equate for the difference that we have offensively? We got 204 runs created plus, we got a 161 runs created plus. Like, is it filling that gap? Is the difference in calling balls and strikes and working with the starting pitchers, like does it make up that gap? Like I don't know. I don't know. I know some pitchers are better with certain catchers. Maybe Cal just brings up, maybe it's just, he is the rising tide that brings up all those pitchers, all those ships, you know? Maybe he's the rising tide. I don't know. I don't know how to equate it. I don't know. I know it's more valuable than right field, and I know that Ward tries to equate that. I would have to really look into that and see how much because they give a little fluff to the catchers, they give less fluff to like first basemen, people like that they think aren't as valuable on the diamond. Same with like left fielders, I know. But because yeah, they're not touching the ball half as much. It's just but the catcher is involved in every play. I don't know, man. I Who's more valuable? The stats say Judges. Who will win? I think Aaron Judge is going to win it. I think he's going to win it. Obviously, I would be happy if Cal won it because, yes, like I said, the stats do say that Raleigh's better, but and sorry, that say Judge is better. Uh, and based on that, I think Judge should win. I think Judge should win it. I think the offensive difference is just too great for the defense to make up for it. And it's also impossible to calculate. It's just impossible to equate that value, and I don't know. I would probably give him more, but I don't think it's that much more. Judge is that much better of a hitter. He's just that much better. So I think Judge is going to win it, and I think he should win it. Listen, you can say whatever you want. Talk to me in the comments. I want to hear your point of view. You're like, all right, this Mariners fan is just trying to like, be different or something. Like, that's not my goal. I want to judge these players honestly and just look at the stat sheet, see and watch the season go by and just I want to judge it as unbiasedly as I can. Obviously, we all have a bias, so listen, I hate the Yankees, man. I really don't like the Yankees. I'm not rooting for the Yankees. So, you let me know. What do you think? Who's going to win it? Who should win it? And why? I want to hear why. And listen, I just to say that Raleigh is just more valuable at catcher. Yes, he is, but does it equate? Does it fill in the gap? Like you got to talk me through this, man. So I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be asking questions in the comments. I really appreciate you guys' comments. It's great to be back at the home base, and no more spilling water. If you watched, not yesterday's episode. Sorry, guys. This is an episode late too. Let me just shout that out. This is Friday morning. I missed yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was driving back. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try and be better. I swear. I'll try and be better, guys. I promise. No more spilling waters. This is a longer episode, too. So we're getting a chalked episode here. All right, guys. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.